we're about to after. So we will get our meeting today joined. So thank you, everyone. I'm Thomas with the Alaska After School Network. This is our bi-monthly statewide call. We have a pretty jam-packed agenda today. We are a little understaffed on our network side. So please help us out. If you see a comment, give us a wave if there's something we need to respond to. I'm currently down in Juneau doing some partner visits and one or two legislative visits before going to the Early Childhood Conference to train with Aaron. Aaron is down here doing assessments for Juneau School District. Anna is right there helping out, doing all of our tech stuff today. And Lily is at our AmeriCorps conference. So we're a little spread across the state today. But without any further ado, we're going to get rolling. If you would please, if you haven't already, make sure to sign in on that list. Anna, if you can share that again, that it just helps us out with our attendance. You can also put your name in the chat as well. Thank you for the welcome down to Juneau. It is beautiful and sunny out today, which is always a treat down in Juneau. Just a reminder of our group agreements for today's call. Again, always taking a look at those, find one that resonates with you. If you would in the chat box, just put in that chat box, maybe the number of the one right now that you're holding as your attention for today's call. Keep our agenda moving. As I said, we have a pretty packed agenda, so we're going to try and roll through some items a little bit quicker as we are rolling today. The first part I want to welcome, we have a new staff member who's going to be joining our team on Monday. We are thrilled to be having Lucas Garcia join us as our network sustainability member. You'll be hearing a lot from Lucas. Lucas's projects over his year of service with us at the network in our main office is going to be really focused on increasing youth voice and storytelling. He's going to be reaching out to a lot of you around how do we do a better job of sharing your story of impact with programs. He's going to be helping out with some leadership development in the sector, as well as he is going to be supporting Lily with AmeriCorps member recruitment. So you'll see and hear more from Lucas in the next couple bits, but we wanted to just go ahead and introduce him in advance because he's going to be joining our team on Monday. We are still hiring, so these are my shameless plugs for us hiring wise. We are still hiring a STEM expansion VISTA. That VISTA position is a year-long commitment in our main office. It will be focused on recruiting STEM mentors from Alaska, developing an Alaska STEM curriculum that our AmeriCorps members will use, and supporting STEM program quality. So you know, anyone that's interested, it comes with a housing stipend as well, $1,000 a month for housing stipend, which is pretty great for an AmeriCorps support. That is currently open. With that, we wanted to share just a quick update for our current AmeriCorps program. We have 5 AmeriCorps members right now serving. You've heard a lot about it. We've been talking it up because this is a big project right now that we see that is gaining some traction. We have 5 members serving throughout Anchorage and the Mat-Su. If you have a program site, we'll be sharing more information on how you sign up for that shortly. You'll be able to sign up here within the next month for your summer and full-time and fall recruitment sites. But right now, we're thrilled. As an example, June Lee, who is up at the Mat-Su Boys and Girls Club, you know, within her first month of service was already working with 71 kids doing coding in their computer lab. So really just thrilled to see the project coming to its own. And hopefully you'll be hearing less because it will just be members in action. But I wanted to celebrate AmeriCorps Week is next week, and we know a lot of our after school programs, besides just through our own, are using AmeriCorps members as a support. Additionally, we are hiring for summer interns in our Anchorage office. We are looking to hire at least 2 summer interns. These are paid summer internships in our office. If you know any young people that are 16 years of age or older, and it doesn't have young at heart as well, people are welcome to apply as well for that paid internship. It's a great way of building your resume and getting engaged in the out of school time workforce. And lastly, wanted to give a big kudos you've seen in our newsletter. We had 2 Alaskans who are getting recognized for national programs. Lindsay Weaver, I'm not sure, Lindsay, are you on right now? I can't see with my screen. Lindsay is on today. Jen from Fairbanks is. So Lindsay Weaver is selected as a next gen after school leader award from the National After School Association. It's a national leadership award for individuals under the age of 30 in the after school field. She's going to be recognized in 2 weeks down at the National After School Convention, which will be in Orlando. So want to give her some kudos and congratulations. If you haven't yet, I think Anna's going to drop in the chat box. There is a kudo board where you can add your virtual kudos to her. As well as Sophia Owens is our first youth that has been selected to represent Alaska in the Meal and Girl Moonshot Flight Crew. So that's a national STEM leadership program and leadership recognition program. Sophia is a junior here in Juneau, and she participates in the First Tech Challenge program. And so she'll be representing Alaska for the next year on that national front. You can also share some kudos as well to Sophia as well. And I think Anna is going to drop in the chat those kudos board that she did. So you can click on the kudo board and put those kudos there. Next piece, so those are new business update. I'm trying to move through that quick because we have a guest speaker who's going to be coming on next. And I'm going to ask maybe Anna if you can help me. Chris with the state of Alaska is going to share about summer meals program. We recognize the last year we had a definite dip in participation in summer meals program because of the changes around federal COVID relief funding ending and some of the emergency health waivers that were ending. So we asked the Department of Ed to come on board today and just share an update around the federal meals program. Now is the time to sign up for summer meals. Even if you yourself are not able to take on a full grant, this is a great time to do some partnership. That we'll have more information once Chris is shared. And I think we can, I'm going to stop sharing here. And let's see if we can find is Chris.
I made Chris co-host already.
Great. Excellent. Chris, your floor is yours. Thanks for joining us.
All right. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, and thank you for the opportunity to talk to you about how we can provide meals to children through this summer. My name is Chris Mariana, and I'm the new Summer Food Service Program Specialist on the Alaska Child Nutrition Program team. Joining me this afternoon as well is Gavin Northey, the new Child Nutrition Programs Manager. Child nutrition programs in Alaska are administered by the Alaska Department of Education and Early Development. NT's mission is to provide an excellent education for every student every day. And our purpose at the department is to equip you with the resources, the information, and the support so that we can all do our part in achieving that mission. To meet Alaska's educational challenges, DEET has set 5 measurable goals or priorities, and our work with child nutrition programs directly supports that 5th priority, which is to improve the safety and well-being of students through school partnerships with families, communities, and tribes, which is why, again, on behalf of the Child Nutrition Programs team, I want to thank you for inviting us to share more about the programs that can help you help children throughout the state. Though most of my time with you this afternoon will focus on the Summer Food Service Program or the SFSP, I'll still go over some of the other programs that are available to you this summer. As Thomas had mentioned earlier, all of us are concerned that when school ends, our children's access to healthy meals will also significantly decrease. To address that, the Summer Food Service Program, or the SFSP, was created in 1968 as an amendment to the NSLA, or the National School Lunch Act. The SFSP is a federally funded program that's administered by the USDA Food and Nutrition Services, or FNS, and by the state agency department in each state to ensure that low-income children continue to receive nutritious meals when school is not in session. Free meals that meet federal nutrition guidelines are provided to children at approved SFSP sites like schools and parks and nonprofit centers in areas with significant concentrations of low-income children. The meals can be either prepared on-site or purchased from a vendor, and in some cases, even school districts can provide meals to sites for a fee. Through the years, Summer Food Service Program regulations have seen changes and updates, and the most recent of which was really happened last October 2022, and it's called the final rule on streamlining program requirements and improving integrity and SFSP. These codified changes are meant to clarify existing requirements, simplify our application process, strengthen program integrity, and provide more discretion at the state agency level to manage program operations. And we hope that those of you that are already familiar with SFSP will welcome these changes. During the pandemic years, we saw an increase in participation in SFSP thanks to some flexibilities and waivers. And then when these waivers have not been extended through the summer of 2023, it's still good to note that some of them will be reflected in provisions that have been codified through the final rule. I won't have time this afternoon to go over all of those changes. There have been a lot, but that will be the focus of our annual summer food training coming this April. Those of you who are unfamiliar with SFSP will be pleased to note that there are different ways that you can be involved in it. The first is by becoming a program sponsor. A sponsor is a public or private non-profit school food authority, a nonprofit organization, a nonprofit residential camp, or a government unit that develops a summer program that provides food service to kids and has been approved to participate in the program. Another way is by becoming a program site under an existing sponsor, and some organizations choose this second option during their first year of operations because a site is the physical location where the sponsor chooses to provide meal service. A site operating under a sponsor will not have to deal with many of the administrative and financial requirements of operating the program. Instead, your sponsor will take care of that for you. So this is a good option for those who are new to the program and just want to try it out. Other ways that you can be involved in the program is by providing activities, volunteers, and educational materials to your local sites, by sharing information about the SFSP to others within your community, or even by escorting children to and from these feeding sites. And if you are curious to know which sponsors are operating in your area, please feel free to reach out to us. We have different types of sites under SFSP. Some of these sites can be reimbursed up to 2 meals a day. And these are sites that choose to operate either as an open site, a restricted open site, or a closed enroll site. On the other hand, there are sites that can be reimbursed up to 3 meals a day, and these are your camps and your migrant sites. All of these sites must still serve low-income children and must maintain eligibility documentation every year. I'd just like to briefly go over some of these differences so that you might find where your organization can fit, where your site can fit. We've got sites that are open to the community at large, and they're located in an area where at least 50% of the children are eligible for free free or reduced price meals under the National School Lunch Program. And these are what we call open sites. Meals are available to all children in the area on a first come, first served basis. And information about that meal service must be publicized to the area that the site is serving. Now, if an open site has to limit their meal attendance because of space issues, security, safety, or control, then it becomes a restricted open site. It must still publicize that the meals are available to all children on a first come, first served basis, but that meal service will be limited based on the given reasons. In both the open site and the restricted open sites, meal service should be in an area eligible location. And I'll explain area eligibility in the next slide. The third type of site is open only to enrolled children or to an identified group of children. And these are your closed enrolled sites. Now, this happens if you have an identified group of low-income kids who will be receiving meal service, maybe at a site that's not area eligible or has less than 50% of eligible children. For closed enroll sites, they have to collect income eligibility applications from the participating households. And if at least 50% of the enrolled children are free and reduced, then the site can be reimbursed for all meals served to all participants. It used to be that closed enrolled sites can only establish eligibility through income eligibility forms, and a waiver was necessary if they wanted to use area eligibility. But one of the updates one of the updates through the final rule is now no waiver is necessary for a closed enrolled site to be able to use area eligibility. So how do you know if your site or your potential site is in a location that's area eligible? There are two ways to do that. That's either through school data or through census data. Each year, the National School Lunch Program, or the NSLP, releases a free and reduced price report that contains a list of all schools in Alaska and the percentage of students in each area that are eligible for free or reduced price meals. You can visit the link that's education.alaska.gov/CMP/NSLP. And under the section labeled school year 2022-2023, you'll find an Excel file called Free and Reduced Price Eligibility Report SY 2022-23. Opening that gives you that list of schools, and you can look for the school that's located in the area that your site will be operating. If it's in an area that's above 50%, then we can say that that area is eligible. If your area doesn't qualify by school data, you can look to see if it qualifies using census data or data from welfare or from zoning. One quick way to do that would be to use the USDA FNS tool called the Area Eligibility Mapper. The link is on the screen. That's fns.usda.gov/area-eligibility. And I'll drop the links in the. Thank you, Gavin, for dropping the links to those in the chat box. So here's you can use this area eligibility map to check for eligibility using census data. When you visit the site, you'll open a link that allows you to enter an address of your potential site. The sites in the red areas mean that the census data show that that area can be eligible. So aside from those 3 sites that I mentioned earlier, there are other sites that can be reimbursed up to 3 meals a day. And these are your camps and your migrant sites. Camps can be residential or non-residential day camps where the food service component is just part of an organized program for enrolled kids. These sites can't use area eligibility, and instead they have to collect and maintain household applications, and they can only be reimbursed for those enrolled children that meet the free and reduced eligibility. Last, we have the migrant sites, and migrant sites operate like your open and your restricted open sites. And they can be reimbursed for all meals served to all attending children. However, eligibility is based on a determination that the site predominantly serves children of migratory workers. So now that you've established that your site is area eligible and you can operate one of these given sites, and you've applied to the program, you've been approved to the program, you can now start serving meals to children at your site. For open sites, restricted open sites, and the closed enrolled sites, you can be reimbursed, as I mentioned, up to 2 meals. So any combination of 2 meals, except for a lunch and supper on the same day, can be reimbursed. For camps and migrant sites, you can be reimbursed up to any combination of 3 meals a day. But for the meals to be reimbursable, it must follow the required SFSP meal pattern, which is consistent with the dietary guidelines for Americans. On the screen is the full SFSP required meal pattern. We won't be going into this right now. I just wanted to just show you this so you get a general idea of what that looks like. The minimum portion of each component must be served for a sponsor to receive the reimbursement. And this SFSP meal pattern is actually slightly different from the patterns followed by our schools operating school lunch program or the school breakfast program, or CACFP, which is the Child Adult Care Food Program. Here's a slide that people might be interested to know. Serving a reimbursable meal can get you the following rates this year. SFSP rates in general are higher than any other child nutrition programs. And our rural sites and sites that prepare their own meals are even reimbursed at a higher rate. And so for those rural and self-prep sites, for instance, you can get a little over $8 for lunch and supper. Aside from making sure that the meals being served on the site meet the meal pattern requirements, another responsibility that a site operating SFSP has is to take daily meal counts at the point of service before they submit your claim for reimbursement. The meals are counted at the point where the children pick up the meals, and the goal here is to ensure that complete meals are being served and meals are counted accurately. Daily counts can be consolidated into weekly or monthly counts. That's double checked before you can submit the claim for reimbursement. Additionally, you can claim for seconds, but only when all the children attending have been served and the second servings are still complete meals. But those reimbursable second meals are only limited to not more than 2% of the total number of first meals served. So you can get reimbursed for them. It's just a small amount. It won't be the full amount of the reimbursement. And if you're still interested to participate in summer food, I invite you to complete an online application so that you can operate this summer. Our forms are not yet live to the public, but they will be open pretty soon. All new and returning sponsors are required to submit an annual application. We call them the sponsor information sheet. Another update to the final rule is that participants who are already participating in NSLP or CACFP can apply for SFSP using streamlined procedures that are available to our more experienced sponsors.
Hey, Chris, we have a
Yes.
question that a hand raised right now from
Oh.
Kristen.
Okay. Yes.
Hi, Chris.
Mhm.
Can you hear me? This is
Yes.
Kristen. I work with 21st Century, and Julie Jessel is the program director. She
Mhm.
wasn't able to be on this call this morning, but I was summarizing in an email some of your presentation, and I was wondering, although you haven't posted the applications yet, if and when those applications are available, is the turnaround time quick enough to be able to get the applications done? And like our summer camp, for example, is the second week of May, and we would need the, lunch served at our summer camp. And I was just wondering if that's a doable turnaround time.
We've set April 15th as like a deadline, so that would give us enough time to review your application, especially for those that are applying and are starting operations in May. We'll try to prioritize those groups that are thinking of operating earlier. We have some that will still operate in June or July. And so if yours is, if you're thinking about May operations, let us know. Reach out to us. That way we have eyes on your application, and we can try to prioritize those as they come in. Thank you. My email address is in the chat box. Thank you, Gavin. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions about our presentation or just anything, any questions about summer food in general. I hope that answers your question, Kristen. On the screen, we've got our resources, and there are a lot. And we've got training, as mentioned earlier. We've got training coming up in April. We've got 2 dates earmarked for that training. April 4th is for school food authorities, both new and returning. And then April 5th is for all other sponsors. And you can visit our website at education.alaska.gov/SFSP training or education.alaska.gov/CMP/SFSP rather. And the registration links are there. There are other child nutrition programs that you may want to look into this summer if summer food service program may not be for you. If you're a school that's serving meals only to kids that are enrolled in academic summer school, you could actually only receive reimbursement through NSLP or SBP, which is School Breakfast Program. Your meals should follow the NSLP and SBP meal patterns, regulations, and monitoring requirements. And you can be reimbursed at the current NSLP and SBP rates. If you're a school already participating in NSLP or SBP, you can switch over to what we call SSO or Seamless Summer Option. I know that's a lot of acronyms. For SSO, that means your site is not only open to those who are enrolled in summer school, but to all children in the area. And that kind of follows the SFSP area eligibility. Your site, however, will still use NSLP and SBP meal patterns, be reimbursed at the NSLP SBP rates. But unlike the previous model where the meals are based on the income eligibility of the children in SSO, all of the eligible meals are free. Other child nutrition programs that we've got are the school special meal program. These are for schools, childcare institutions, and eligible camps that don't participate in any other child nutrition programs. Your children may buy milk or receive it from you for free, depending on how you as a sponsor choose to operate your program. And you get reimbursed for each half pint of milk that's being served. Sponsors can elect to operate SFSP at some of their sites and do school milk at the other sites. They just can't claim meals for, they just can't claim reimbursement for both for the same meal. And then finally, we've got the CACFP at-risk after-school meals, which is, and under this, an after-school program must be organized to provide care for kids after school or on the weekends, holidays, or school vacations during the regular school year. They have to provide organized education or organized activities and be located in an area eligible location where 50% or greater kids are free and reduced. Some contact information are there on the screen. Debbie Soto is our special milk program contact. Anne-Marie Martin is our CACFP specialist. And I know I took up more than my allotted time this afternoon, but I hope the information that I shared with you today helps make you make informed decisions regarding your summer meal service. On our screen is our contact information. We are here to help answer any questions that you may have. Again, thank you so much for inviting us, and thank you very much for the work that you do to serve the children in your communities.
All right, thank you so much, Chris. Before Chris jumps offline and as I'm switching our slide decks, any other questions for Chris or the child nutrition program with the, thank you again for sharing. All right, I hear any, we will make sure, and Chris, that's okay for us to share that slide deck, correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right, great. We will share out that slide deck with minutes because I noticed that I saw some of you taking photos with your phone of slides. So we'll get that out with minutes. If you didn't notice, we are now, our newsletter now comes out every Wednesday, so it will definitely be out Wednesday. If you'd like that information sooner, feel free to reach out to me directly. Keeping our pieces moving forward. There are a bunch of funding news that we wanted to share with you. So there are several different pieces. Some we're gonna just kind of mention briefly. Some we're gonna dive in a little bit more because there were some changes. The first is State of Alaska Positive Youth Development After School Grant Program, which is administered by the Department of Health. That is currently open. We'll share more in a moment. One to just flag for folks, the American Rescue Plan district level learning loss set aside, that again is an allowable use of fund, is after school and summer. These are district specific dollars right now around learning recovery due to pandemic learning disruption. Right now in our state, our districts have only spent about 48% of their learning recovery dollars. That dollars are getting closer and closer to expiration and allocation date. This is a great chance if you are a school district, talk to your school district leadership about utilizing those dollars. If you are a partner of a district, so if you're not a school district, but you're a community-based organization, I'd encourage you, this is a chance to reach out. We're here to help you build those relationships and build the case for why out of school time is a right fit. It's clearly labeled inside of there. We're going to be doing some outreach to Deed 2 to see how we can do a better job of talking at that school district leadership level of really highlighting after school and summer as those allowable uses of funds for those American Rescue Plan district level learning loss set aside. The next one that I'm gonna skip real brief because I have a slide about it is a bipartisan Safer Community Act Stronger Connections Grant Program. We'll share that information here shortly. We also, Sarah from our team at the Children's Trust will be sharing out about the mini grants we have right now open. And then I wanted to real briefly just flag as well, congressional district spending items. We at the network are interested in putting forward a request ask to Senator Murkowski. Congressional district spending items are ones that are otherwise known as earmarks that senators currently are able to put into the funding bills and package. We're interested in seeing from our partners if there's anything that you feel would be a kind of additional support for it. Nationally, where we've seen congressional spending bill are nationally or congressionally direct spending bills items, we've seen them support things such as rec center improvements on ventilations or gymnasiums. We've seen them focus on social emotional learning and trauma-informed out of school time. We've also seen it on supporting mental health services and after school. So we'd really love to hear from you. If you have an idea that you think this is something that would help support either your organization on a wider level, and or it's those kind of system pieces that across our programs in our state, like we feel would be of value for us to pursue with Senator Murkowski, please contact me by the end of the week. You can reach out to me directly to do that. We do need to get our ask in soon. I'm going to be connecting with a few of the program partners I know have signaled some things to me in the past around potential fixes for licensed school-age childcare and some other kind of larger capital projects. This is not a definite, but we can't get anything if we don't put in an ask. And so we want to start really being part of that system of making sure after school there's some of those asks that are being moved forward. As I said, it's not a guarantee that we'd receive the funding, but it is a way of getting our kind of needs met in a unique way that has just really started happening in the last couple of years. So again, if you have an idea for congressionally district direct spending piece, please let me know by the end of the week, or reach out to my cell 907-602-0569. Get 907-602-0569. I'm going to roll into these next funding streams a little bit more because I do want to just share a couple pieces. So the Positive Youth Development After School Grant Program Fund, which is through the Department of Health. Again, I am not the state of Alaska. Questions on this grant should go to the procurement officer associated with the grant. But want to just kind of do some quick high level pieces. So these are the grants that are funded through marijuana sales tax revenue that the state of Alaska is investing in prevention activities in the after school. It is focused on increasing recreational activity, character building during the out of school time hours. It should enhance youth, family, and school and community protective factors while reducing risk of marijuana use and reduce initiation of marijuana. usage among young people and the harms and effects. Programs are expected to operate 2 to 3 hours a day for at least 3 to 5 days a week. And, there is a lot more detail inside of the RFP. Just wanted to pull that out. The piece in particular I wanted to flag for folks that is different than the last time this RFP was ran 4 years ago. The total grant award is $1.8 million that is going to be awarded out. There are 2 funding tracks now. There is a non-tribal and a tribal funding track. So we are strongly encouraging tribal partners to reach out. This is part of the state Department of Health's focus on health equity and addressing that. So this is a really great opportunity for both non-tribal and tribal programs to receive funding to expand out of school time supports. And Anna, if you wouldn't mind dropping that link into the chat, I would appreciate it. And that closes April 7th. So timeline is still enough there to get a good application in. If you do have questions on general things like programmatic things, I'm happy to help answer those. Any questions about the RFP, though, should be directed to the State of Alaska Procurement Office. The next one that I wanted to mention as well, this is a new funding stream. This is a one-time loop. I think we jumped somewhere. Sorry. This is the Bipartisan Safer Community Act Stronger Connections Grant Program. This is for school districts. So only school districts can apply. Community-based organizations, I would encourage you, this would be a good outreach piece as well for districts that we know have interest in out of school time, but may not have the infrastructure to be able to deliver the program. This could be a partnership you develop. In the state of Alaska, there's over $4.5 million that is being released through this funding stream to local school districts. Grant amounts will be between $250,000 to $500,000 distributed over the course of 5 years. You can see there's a list of what the goals are. It's around increasing student belonging to schools, learning environments that provide culturally and linguistically responsive practices. Students are surrounded by adults they can trust and who are committed to building strong relationships. And learning environments are nurturing and help students overcome challenges and traumatic experiences, provide a sense of emotional and physical safety. In terms of what that means, so as I said, after school and summer are allowable uses of funds. I double checked with the state. I think Anna, I emailed you an email with a Word document. It's a little different. It's not a typical, here's your link to go and apply. There is a Word document that you would apply to. Again, only school districts can apply. We're encouraging folks, though, to really look at this with the amount of other learning dollars out from the American Rescue Plan, as well as several other funding streams. This might be a good opportunity to help bolster or support and braid the funding you would need for programming or expand services that are already out. You can see on the right-hand side, those are some of the requirements and needed to meet it. In particular, some of the pieces that high number of students in poverty, so 35% or more, and that the local education agency fits one of those pieces. Especially, I will flag the number 3 on there, where students recently experienced a natural disaster, or traumatic event. This would include the natural disaster events that happened last fall in the Northwest Arctic and along the western coast of Alaska as well. And I see Anna has a hand up.
Just wanted to flag one minor detail. The application is due April 5th, but the letter of intent to apply is due March 15th, which is coming up pretty quick.
Great, and I see Jessica, thanks for dropping that link to the forms in there. Will, this is a state grant, but it is federal dollars going to the state to be administered as well. And Sarah is next to share about a mini grant program we have right now.
Thanks, Thomas. Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah. I'm a fellow at the Alaska Children's Trust. Some of you might know that April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, and each year we have mini grants, $250 per group to host any kind of activity during the month that relates to prevention. And so I'm working with Thomas and the Afterschool Network to put together a package, a special package of mini grants for the after school network members to host a family engagement night. So as I said, each grant is $250. If you got it, you would host a family engagement night. We have developed a family activity using a beach ball. You've probably seen like beach balls with questions written around it. We've come up with a bunch of different questions related to positive childhood experiences, and we'll send you those. And then you can use the money for food and other supplies. And then the other part of the grant is that your staff will schedule a training in the next 6 months with the Children's Trust. And we have 2 different trainings. You could schedule one or both if you'd like. The first one is everything everyone needs to know to prevent child sexual abuse. And then the other one is HOPE, which stands for Healthy Outcomes from Positive Experiences. So those are the 2 main parts of the grant. In order to apply, we have 5 spots available for after school programs. You can go to the link on the sides or scan the QR code. And the one thing I'll note is that as an after school program, you'll be asked if you are on the application, and to qualify for these 5 spots, you just have to select yes. And then we'll be in contact. The application does close March 15th. Because we want to be able to get you the money and the supplies in time for Prevention Month in April. But that is about it. Thanks, Anna, for sending the link in the chat. And then the other thing I'll note, I'm not sure if this applies to anyone, but it will also ask you for like a tax ID number. And if you're not a nonprofit, you might not have one of these, but anyone is eligible for these grants. You don't have to be a nonprofit. So if that applies to you, you can just put in all zeros for the tax ID. Yeah, are there any questions about these grants? Okay, I will also put
have
my
a
email.
question.
Oh, go ahead, Kristen.
Yeah, I went to your training at the Alaska After School Network conference last fall, and I really enjoyed it. And then this mini grant opportunity sounds like a wonderful opportunity. And I would apply for it, except I don't have any plans to be in Kotzebue in the month of April. The next time I go up there is May. So I just wanted to let you know, thank you for offering these, but I don't think I'll apply. I don't see how to make it happen this time around.
Got it. Thanks, Kristen.
Then sorry, that wasn't really a question. It was more like
That's
a
okay.
shout out to you.
The one last thing I do want to say about the grant program as well, these mini grants. So this is, we are testing the water around this. There have been some other funding opportunities that the network has been pursuing to be able to see around that, because we have routinely heard from program providers about like being able to have resources to do family engagement events. That's oftentimes, especially things such as purchasing food or other pieces, can be a stretch or maybe not included inside of the grant. Or your funding stream. So we were using this as kind of a test pilot to see how this goes for us. But you may be seeing more of these coming out with Summer Learning Week, as well as Lights On After School. So this is a chance. If you're interested, go ahead and apply, and we'll see how it rolls for folks. I'll also mention you do not need to apply for the mini grant to do either of these trainings. Sarah and Eliza from the Children's Trust team are happy to set those up for your agencies at any time. Thank you. The next part, these next ones are going to go by pretty quick. Just want to remind folks, the last week in April is After School Professionals Appreciation Week. This is our nationwide week to celebrate the after school profession as well. We here at the After School Network nominate 5 individuals, or we ask you to nominate individuals, and we will select 5 individuals to be recognized as superheroes. They receive a free scholarship to the Alaska Out of School Time Conference, as well as statewide promotion for their service. This is a great way of recognizing your staff or your coworkers or yourself even for the great work they're doing out of school time. The next part on that same note of the profession is the Power of Us survey. You've heard me share this a lot. They're in the final national push for it. The national goal is about less than, it's like 10% left to meet the national goal. You can see in that little chart, Alaska is a light blue. We have hit 25% of our statewide goal. We'd love to get some more folks in. This is anyone who's working in the youth development field, whether it's teachers, after-school professionals, or others. There is a bulk of resources that we're hoping to be able to draw out from our information that we're hoping to be able to draw out from the survey results. So if you have not yet, please share that link with others. I think Anna shared the link with folks and she got paid for doing it. So sharing with your coworkers does help give you some funding as well. And Anna will plop that into the chat for that. And there it is. I forgot I put a slide here. So this is the way if you get folks to sign up or take the Power of Us survey. This is the honorariums that you receive for that. So I know Anna did it and she got some dollars back. So please consider doing that yourself. And Anna again will share that in the chat box here. All right. Next part, we are doing another round of COVID tests ordering. This is a quick turnaround. We have until March 17th to put in the order. These are free tests from the CDC in coordination with the Department of Health. This is most likely our last round of COVID tests that we're doing. While I know it can feel like pandemic, what pandemic at times, we are still indeed living in the age of COVID. Particularly, we have this distribution set up for summer. While there is, when you're doing the selection, it may show a max, you're welcome to put in multiple times to reach that. Each testing kit has at least a 4-month lifespan. Most of the test kits, well, all the test kits we've received thus far actually have had a 11-month lifespan. So please, again, order those, especially for summer programs where we know we have large congregate settings. It's a good chance for COVID to be spreading around, and we want to make sure we're keeping kids and staff safe. So feel free to order those. We pay for the distribution and shipping to your program site. So all you have to do is just click an order and they will be on your way in April. Any questions with COVID test order? Like most of you have ordered from us before. All right. The last piece, Anna.
I just wanted to flag a question Jessica had in the chat about I think this might be directed to you, Sarah. Is the prevention trainings, I think we're looking at everything everyone needs to know in HOPE. Are they aimed at families or program staff? I think Sarah's gone.
We'll go back to it's both for, it is for program staff as well. Both would be applicable both for program staff and for families as well. Both we've been doing the Children's Trust have been doing them in both settings, both broadly to community and family, as well as to educators directly. The next part is just wanted to real quick. I know I mentioned AmeriCorps earlier, but wanted to say host site sign up is happening right now. So again, this is to have an AmeriCorps member through our program serving at your program site. It is any out of school time program that's working with youth at least 3 days a week, that you're focused on elementary school age. If you're focused on older age youth, please reach out to us. We are open to exploring having a member placed at your middle school or high school program site as well. Key things that is a little different is right now is a sign up. So we will be sharing a link in the follow-up for summer host site sign up. So this is to have a member that's working just this summer at your program site. We also will have our fall and full year sign up as well. We do right now have a lot of applicants that are applying that we are looking to place at sites around the state. So please let us know if you're interested. I know several of you have host site applications in. You're already in our queue for members, but we are, as the program has been growing, we've been getting more and more interested in it. So that sign up, the best way of doing it is by contacting Lily or going to our website, akafterschool.org/AmeriCorps. And that has information there, or scan the QR code. Will, we got you covered because I'm actually meeting with your coworker that I'm drawing a blank. I want to say Phil, maybe, to get that covered for Boys and Girls Club already. So thank you for flagging that. And one of the last items want to just share, next week we have our YPQI information session. So that is a youth program quality initiative that you heard about the last meeting. We have our application open right now for next school year. So if you are interested in partnering with us, again, the process of assess, plan, improve. A lot of you have already been involved in that. The process is free for your staff to attend any of the trainings, as well as to receive those assessments. You know, there's a lot of partnership and value that can come through the YPQI process. I just wanted to take a moment because we do have a bunch of YPQI sites on the phone. Just wanted to see if anyone wanted to give a quick shout out on how the process has been going for you this year. If you have already attended if you've been involved this past year, you do not need to attend the info session unless you'd like to. But we do ask you to complete the application because it helps us know how many sites we're going to be supporting to make sure we have adequately staffed the initiative. But if anyone maybe wants to jump off and just share their experience going through the YPQI process with us.
I can go, Thomas.
Right. Thanks, Jennifer.
So we're pretty much through our entire process now. We met with Aaron at the beginning of this week, and I have my last final site assessment today. So we've done all of our elementary sites, and it's been a good process. Everybody's been very supportive of what, what questions we would have and what we needed. And I feel like the resources were very plentiful. We had a lot here from prior to COVID to start with, when we began. So we already had a lot of the materials here. But just working with Aaron has been great, just getting everything to us. I have attended all of the sessions that Anna and Aaron have been doing on the Fridays. So that's always a good time. Anna likes it, I'm there.
Love it.
I'm the token person who will talk if nobody wants to talk. So, but it's been a great experience, and I think it's very good for our team to have this, to focus on one goal that we all set as an entire team together at the pre-conference. So that was also helpful to have all of our elementary sites on the same goal, which kind of made that an easier process. So it's great.
Great. Thanks, Jennifer. So if you're interested in doing that, go ahead, and that sign up is going until May 1st. All right. The piece that we wanted to just real briefly share, we have a bunch of training and meeting updates for the network. Again, there is more than just this, but wanted to just kind of share those items. You can find all of our events and trainings on akafterschool.org/events. As I mentioned, I am down in Juneau, and so is Aaron right now. We will be presenting at the AEYC Southeast Symposium Conference. So you will see a lot of school age content there, including youth work methods, both Friday and Saturday. If you're in the Juneau area and want to stop on by, come join us. This year it's being hosted at the Juneau Christian Center because Centennial Hall is under construction. But just wanted to share those. A couple of our work groups coming up as well. Again, all those links now are on our calendar. And I think that is it for our agenda. I feel like I whipped through a lot of stuff today, so high five for me from funding and other news announcements. Want to open up the floor at this point. Any other questions, comments, anything that folks would like to share out? We are to that point of the year where it is March. We're getting sunlight back and we're getting close to the end of the school year. But want to open up the floor if anyone has any other updates, news, or share outs.
I have one if nobody's going to go. We are doing a summer program and are looking for musicians or DJs or people to play music at our summer block parties. We're going to hopefully 4 of those during the summer at, will be at Lake Otis Elementary. So if you know of anyone who, either yourself or somebody else, that wants to play some music for some kids, I'd love that. Thank you.
Marcy, I'll send you Peely, who was with our team before. He's a big musician and drummer. I bet you he'd be interested in jamming out with your kids.
Well, if Marcy's doing a job posting pitch, then here I am. Hi, everyone. I'm Allison with Anchorage Youth Court. So I know a number of you may have worked with our legal advisor, Denise Wyke. She's actually retiring this summer after 23 years of service to our organization. So we will be recruiting a legal advisor. They do need to have a law degree for the state of Alaska. See, Thomas, you're excited for Denise. We're excited for her. Very sad for us. But we will be looking for a legal advisor as well as an office assistant, and shortly coming a licensed clinical social worker to act as a sentencing coordinator. We're excited to have that as an open position coming up soon. Somebody who actually has access to resources and training information just so we can support our defendants. So at this point, the legal advisor position would be either part-time or full-time, depending upon the right candidate. But should anybody know a social worker or an attorney or just a general wonderful human who's looking for a new job, Anchorage Youth Court is hiring. We'll be posting those positions shortly as well.
Okay. And Elson, go ahead and make sure to send us your employment link, and because I don't think you're on our employment pages yet for the network, so we'll get those up there. I do have another piece that I forgot to mention with AmeriCorps. If any of you are running a high school program or involved with high schoolers, our AmeriCorps program is available for folks 17 and over, and we are interested in particular partnering with high school-based programs on setting up a program to be able to both count for high school class credit, as well as getting kiddos work experience by working directly with younger peers in elementary school. So if you are, especially I'm looking towards our 21st century friends who have high school age youth in your program, this might be a great opportunity for them to also gain some employability skills through your program or partnership with us on that AmeriCorps side, and staff and do work at your younger kid programs. So that is a piece I'll toss out there. Anything else for the group? All right, without hearing that, I want to wish you all the very best and thank you all for being here. Again, if you have any questions about those funding stream pieces, please feel free to reach out. There is a lot of money out there right now. Now is our time to capitalize and really expand services for you. If you need any help thinking through them, feel free to ping me. I'm always accessible by phone or by email. Thank you very much.